Oh my God, we're here.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the next episode of A Conversation with Kely in person right now. This is episode 62. We're going to be discussing the latest episode of Ascendance Live. Very crazy episode. A lot went down. Very overstuffed, I would say, but in a good way. There was a lot going on. And we're just going to jump right into it. But before we do have to introduce both of our co-hosts here. First of all, big introduction for the first one because he just won a draft for 1984. That is something we all need to hype up because he deserves all the love. Here he is, Mike. I was like, what am I looking at?
My buff.
He deserves everything.
Yes. And
That's
also
me.
here with us. They were doing really well in this draft. They were absolutely killing it. And now they're completely out of the fucking draft. But either way, we're very excited to have them here. Sean.
Hi.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like, you were literally killing it in the draft. And now...
Going so well. And
I
then back
know.
to back to back to back. Blue. And then... I think I'm the
So
first one out,
funny.
too.
That's so funny.
I know.
Pretty sure I'm the first one out.
I know. Also, yes, hi. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, we have a lot to talk about, Aly, so I think we're just going to jump into it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was a very long episode. A lot happened. I tried to not be too in-depth with the notes this time around, so this isn't super long, but we are going to talk about the majority of what happened. So we're just going to jump right into it. So, of course, as we know, the last episode, there was a revote. I'll be honest, I kind of thought it was going to go to Rox, but it didn't. The tie is, in fact, broken. With a vote of 4-1, Erica is the next person to be eliminated from Ascendance Live. With Edmund ultimately being the deciding vote, how do we feel about this? Do we think this was, like, a good move for Edmund? Because, like, personally, I don't really think so. He was giving these promises to Erica and Michelle. He went as far as to make a final 3 with them. I feel like in this case, he probably should have just voted out Jake. I understood why Jake didn't want him to vote him out, but I feel like you made that final 3 to keep them on your good side at that point. You know, if one of them wins the captain comp or something, I think it just would have been a better move to take Jake out here. But what do you guys think?
I think it wasn't too bad of a move. I understand not wanting to go to Rox.
Yeah. That makes
Someone
sense.
who sometimes plays Survivor orgs. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Rox.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
you have to be like really confident in your game to like be okay with going to Rox, and clearly it showed that Edmund, like, you know, he knew that there was possibility he could potentially go there, which I don't know if he really would have. You know, it's kind of hard to tell. But I don't know. I just feel like he should not have made that final 3 if he wasn't going to honor it. That's just kind of how I feel.
He's just he went from playing like a really good game to being like
Very messy.
to having
Yeah, like when you honored that final 2, Kevin, remember that one?
That's a little different from when it's jury. That's a little different.
I mean, like, I think I wouldn't say it was a messy move, but at the same time, it's like the pressure of knowing, like, if he had not done the way he did and went to Rox, he has a higher chance of going home there.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
It's like, do I promise or do I promise? And so, like, because either way, at the end, like, if he makes it to the final 2, he still has pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like in his head, it was like, do I keep the promise or do I keep the promise and break it and still have more people? Like, I don't know. It's just, I think the pressure got to him.
I think so too. And I think what we really notice in this episode in particular that I think is very interesting is that Edmund, Peyton, and Stephanie are all playing very similar games in which they're all playing like both sides. And I think we're seeing that I think Peyton is probably handling it the best out of everyone because I think Edmund, just the way he's been going about it, he just has not had the best jury management. Whereas Peyton, yeah, he's doing similar things, but he's doing it in such a way to where people aren't like pissed off by what he's doing. And then Stephanie, I mean, we'll get to how a certain player feels about Stephanie by the end of this, but I just found that to be very interesting. They're all kind of playing similarly in the way that they've been playing the middle of the entire game, and it's really kind of been working for them. So,
that's true. It's been crazy for sure, but I have one question.
What?
Has anyone ever heard of fucking jury management?
It's true. It's true.
I love that.
That's true. It was a really good line. But Erica talks about how she didn't know what to expect playing an LRG before, and she had fun, especially wanted to play because of Nicole creating the game. I somehow completely forgot about the fact that she was Nicole's sister, but I think that's really fucking cool. But anyway, she doesn't really want to change anything, and she hopes the friendship that she made can, in fact, stay intact. I really enjoyed watching Erica a lot this season. We're going to talk to her after the next elimination because we had a request that they wanted to do it together. So we're going to honor that request and let them do it. But yeah, Erica was a lot of fun this season. I think she had a lot of potential to really win the game. There were many points in which it seemed like Erica was going to go, and she always found a way to get herself out of it. I think she played a really strong game. So
she played so good.
Yeah, very impressed
honestly,
by her.
Like, out of someone who's never played an org, who's never played an LRG, who's like honestly just behind the scenes from just doing Ascendance org stuff, like she's grasped a lot with that and carried it into an LRG, and also like the strategy behind her gameplay. As a newbie, I applaud that.
Oh yeah. Well, my real question is, and I'll ask this to Erica, is like, when the fuck are we gonna see her play an org? Because like, we need to see it happen. We need to see that happen. Get Erica on some kind of org because I think.
You mean Battlegrounds doesn't count?
I mean, talk to
the 120 person cast.
Anyway, so
shout out to
Peyton
AJ, though. I love AJ.
Oh yeah.
Same.
So after the vote, Michelle, Jake, and Stephanie talk about the vote, and Stephanie assures them that she didn't lie. She did not change her vote here, which I guess is true. Everyone revoted except for her. So Peyton tells Stephanie that he's thinking about playing the pendant on her this round, especially since he's unsure where the remaining duckies are going to vote. They are also trying to figure out who voted Jake. I got the sense that this is the person that Peyton is the most loyal to at this point, but it's very, to be honest with you, when it comes to that three, like I can't tell if it's going to be Peyton or Stephanie. Is it going to be Peyton? And especially with the way things played out at the end of this, like it's really hard to tell how that three is really going to go and what's ultimately going to happen. But again, I think it's a testament to like how they're all playing. They're all playing the middle so much they don't even trust each other. Like it's so interesting to watch play out.
It's such a great dynamic.
Oh yeah, for sure. But basically Edmund and Michelle talk, and he says that he didn't want to vote for Jake and that he stuck to the plan. He then tells Stephanie what the fight with Peyton was about and figured that taking out Erica was the best solution to the problem since he didn't know that Jake was in fact the counter name, which is not true. He thinks the pen should be played this round in order to just get rid of Jake entirely. That's what he wanted to do here. I thought Michelle was going to be way more annoyed. I did think that was going to happen. We love Brandon. We do love Brandon. Shout out.
We do.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is the first podcast you've done in person, huh?
That's true. Yes. But first video we did in person, period. But anyway, what I was going to say was I think that I was surprised that Michelle wasn't angrier at Edmund, especially when he made that final three. But I think we see that Michelle is someone that is very much, she's very much tied to like these people at this point. She gets really upset when certain people leave, and I think she's just a very like emotional player in that way, and we're definitely seeing that for her. So I think while I definitely would have been pissed in this situation, I get why Michelle ultimately wasn't, because just the way that she's playing, the way that she handles things and things like that. I think we've seen that throughout the season. So yeah, I mean, I think she's a really strong underdog arc personally. I don't know if she wins, but I can definitely see her in the final two, and I can see her getting at least some votes. So that's how I feel
for sure.
at this point.
What were we talking about?
Michelle. That's how I feel. But the next challenge is underway. Everyone has to stack puzzle pieces together, and by the end, this was a very long comp. By the end, Stephanie crushes this comp and secures immunity. Great win for Stephanie here. I love that she really was like, I got to start winning comps, and she ultimately did. It was literally a 20-piece puzzle. Like, I was just like...
Wasn't it more than one 20-piece puzzle, though?
What?
It was multiple puzzles, wasn't it?
It was like two 20-piece puzzles. Okay, that's true, yeah. It was two 20-piece puzzles, which I thought was crazy.
I think this had a segment where two people got... I think it was... Was it Edmund and Peyton? They got their pieces mixed up, and that's why.
Yeah. They had that like sound effect at the end. Okay, so it was two 25-piece puzzles. Okay. That makes it a little more.
That's so good.
When Stephanie was saying that, I was like, 20 pieces, really?
Yep. It was two puzzles.
Okay. That I like that. That fucks with them. I like that a lot.
You can't use ghost mode. There's no arrangement. You can't use ghost mode. Like there's none of that.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me I can't stack all my pieces into one section and just start clicking over and over again?
You can't do the trick that Kid Zach does, like or Josh Duolingo. You can't do that trick. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it was a 50-50. It would have been a 50-50 and no.
Yeah, it definitely would have been. And I honestly don't know what would have happened there. That would have been interesting to see play out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what Brant Steele's for, Kevin.
What?
That's what Brant Steele's for, Kevin. Also, Brant Steele, if you're watching this, put Ascendance live on there. We want Ascendance on Brant
make
Steele.
it happen.
Do it.
Yes,
that'd be so fun.
If Penthouse can be on there, Ascendance can definitely be there.
And the other game that's on there.
Yeah, we don't mention that one.
Right?
Why not? I'm kidding.
We don't need to mention that. All right. Let's we're gonna talk about what happened in the rest of this second week. So Aly, go ahead.
All right. Peyton tells Michelle he wants to make a big move and to take out Eddie since he feels he will beat all of them. And Michelle agrees and brings up how he acted when Stephanie won. Peyton and then Peyton plans on using his pennant on himself.
This would have been a really, really killer move. I thought that maybe there was a possibility that this could potentially happen. I think that Edmund, though, he's the kind of player that like he always kind of knows that like his name is out there. We've seen that especially these past few rounds. Like he's always worried his name is out there, so he's always scrambling. And this round, like he actually had a reason to do that. I feel like a lot of the other rounds he's done it, it's like he just kind of assumes that his name is out there. But like this round, it's like, yeah, I mean, that was definitely the right thing to do. So yeah, I mean, Edmund's game is just really interesting to watch these past few rounds, I think, with the way that he's been playing.
Yeah. Eddie, however, is pushing for Jake to go.
Yes.
And Edmund says it's between Jake and him, so he doesn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Peyton talks to Edmund and they talk about how they want to sit next to each other, and Edmund still wants him to play the pendant on him and he can vote Jake.
And again, I'm just so confused by the dynamics.
This round's really crazy.
I'm so confused with the dynamics of this three because Peyton, I think, says the same thing to Stephanie like a round later.
I know. Michelle is very annoyed by the chaos Peyton and Eddie are causing.
Which I don't blame her. Like this late in the game, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's like so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
She talks to Stephanie, who seems like she is leaning towards keeping Jake and getting rid of Peyton, but she doesn't plan to vote him out. She plans to convince him to play the pendant on Jake while he can vote for Peyton in case the plan goes through.
This was a really interesting move, and I think it would have been a really great one, but I think that Peyton is a savvy enough player to where he's not going to play it on someone else. He knows he's going to have to play it on himself. I don't think there was a way in which this could have worked out. I think it was a really, really baller move, like on Stephanie's part, if she was able to pull it off, but like, I just don't think there was a scenario in which it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it's the last time to play an idol or a pendant.
Exactly.
Like, shit.
Yeah, especially then. You want to kind of just like, play it on yourself. Where are we? You're right there.
Oh yeah.
Jake is unsure. Yeah.
Jake is unsure why he is being told constantly that he's the target and has a gut feeling something else is in place. Edmund plans to be going for Jake since he isn't wanting to turn his back on the 3 or Michelle, and Jake seems like he's leaning towards Michelle.
Which I was like, no, that's not interesting.
Right? It's so like simple.
I mean, if you're playing the game, you want it to be simple. Not gonna lie.
I mean, you do, but as an audience member, I want to see
Craziness.
chaos.
Yes. All right, the elimination ceremony goes down. Oh.
What happened?
Oh.
We lost Sean for a second.
Sean's back. Oh, Peyton.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this.
This right here, honestly.
I definitely agree with this, Peyton. Like,
Yeah,
I think it was definitely the right call to make because, like, at that point in the game, like, especially when it's so like you're such a front and center player in that way, and everyone knows what you're doing. It's like you kind of have to just Exactly.
We love
that. That's what I'm saying.
We love that.
Why make it simple?
While we're talking about Peyton, though, I want to give Peyton a big shout out and a congratulations on a well done game in EXP.
Yes.
Peyton just got 3rd place. I want to
bring that to the Niners. Yes.
Bring that to everyone's attention. Peyton.
Yes,
proud of you.
Peyton did very much kill it in EXP for sure.
But also shout out to Zoe and of course Trevor.
Yes. Shout out to Trevor, amazing winner. Very happy he took that one. And Zoe.
Back to the program.
They're all great.
Oh yeah.
Back to what we came here for.
Absolutely.
Hype. We're here to hype up Peyton.
We love Peyton.
We do love Peyton.
And then the elimination goes down, and Jake is about to vote Michelle, but he decides to switch it to Peyton.
Which I think was definitely the correct move there, because if Peyton hadn't played that pendant,
Peyton does end up playing his pendant on himself, and by a vote of 2-2, Jake does end up going this way.
I want to bring this up. Like, what's really interesting about that pendant is that it would have been tied again. Like, this would have been a tied vote, and I'm not sure what would have happened, to be honest. Like, I don't know if people would have changed their votes. And I think it might have just, I'm not really sure how that would have. I don't
think it was 2-2.
It wasn't?
Was it?
I think it was.
I thought.
I think it was 3. Yeah, it was 4-0.
Oh.
No. I think it was originally 2-2.
Yeah.
Because Payne got 2 votes.
Yeah.
Wait.
Payne got 2 votes. I thought he did.
Payne got 1 vote.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was 4-0 because Peyton played the pendant, but.
Okay.
Yeah, every chat is telling us that Jake went out Yunnan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Wow.
Well.
So much for that.
Yeah. Anyway, Jake feels he's very happy with how he played, but does feel he talks a little too much. But all in all, he's happy with how it went.
Which, speaking of Jake, I think now's a good time. We're going to go ahead and do it. We don't just have Jake here. We have Jake, and we also have Erica. Yes. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good. I failed the finance exam today, so good as I can be.
But hey, you did really well in Ascendance, so that counts for something. You're here to talk about something you did really well in, so that's really great. I think I'm going to start off with Erica here. So obviously, we got into the fact that you've never really played before. Obviously, you've seen behind the scenes. What were your thoughts going into all of this?
I was just really nervous because, like I said, I only knew Peyton and Jeff, and I knew Michael because I had met him once before, but not really in a game. And then, of course, I knew Memes as well. So I don't know. I was just really nervous because I knew less people than I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, I think that's always very impressive. Like when you're in a cast that has so many connections and you're able to last as long as you did. I think that's very impressive. Let's talk about the you and Michelle dynamic. How did that really start off? Because I feel like that was such a big part of this game. That was personally one of my favorite game alliances to follow was the whole relationship between you and Michelle.
Well, I think it just started off as we were roommates, so I think we felt like any secret or thing that we had figured out, we could just tell each other and trust that we wouldn't tell someone else. Because, like, I guess she could have went someplace else, like to Jake's room, and told him stuff, but she always had to come back to my room, so she had to live with me the entire time.
And I think that helped you guys out, because I think what was really interesting, I talked about this last week, is that we didn't really see you two talking strategy until like last week. Like last time was the first time you guys had like a legit like conversation in the game. And I thought that was really cool to see play out. I think you guys did a really good job, because, you know, it wasn't as well known as it could have been. So I was definitely very impressed by that. So you did, of course, have that pendant, and that pendant was something that you did very much play. Do you think you played it at the right time?
No, but again, I didn't think I would be able to play it like correctly anyways, because so many people knew. I figured eventually somebody would just flush it out. So honestly, when I played it and it didn't end up being used the correct way, I was kind of just relieved.
Yeah, makes sense. Definitely. I mean, there's not much you can do in that scenario, of course, you know, especially when it's like, I believe it was down to 9 at that point, 8, something like that. That was the round that Mark left, I remember. So yeah, you had no way of knowing what could have happened then, but that was crazy to watch play out. Who wants to go next? I've been asking all the questions. Sean, I'm sure you have questions for Erica.
I don't have questions.
It was around Nick went, not Mark.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
I don't have questions. I just have like, I don't know. I'm just sad. I'm honestly like, everyone knows I'm a huge Erica fan. Like, I'm sad. Like, also like just knowing the fact that 2 newbies, not knowing anything about Ascendance, went back to back. Also, is kind of upsetting.
That is rotted, yes.
Just like I kind of wanted to see like a newbie win. I mean, there's that 1% chance a newbie can win.
Still a chance, you know. We got Michelle in there,
That's
so.
But like, I don't know. I don't have any questions. I just love Erica and Jake.
Aly or Mike?
What?
Questions for Erica?
Oh, I was updating my phone. I don't really have anything.
Wait, I guess really the main question is like, what was your like favorite part of playing this season, and like just anything that you like regret or just anything like that?
I mean, I really like the relationships, and like with the Michelle one, like we didn't really have to talk like game during the day or anything, and like even when it came time to when people were pointing out duos, like it was never like me and Michelle were a duo. It was always me and Jake for some reason, because I think me and Jake talked more outside of our rooms than me and Michelle did. But I don't know. I just like when I sat down the night 1, I didn't think Jake would be one of my closest allies in the game, and I don't know. It's just the people were really wonderful. So that was probably just my favorite part.
That's great. I love that.
I love that.
I guess the other question I have is, what do you think was your ultimate downfall? Like, obviously, it was between you and Jake, and for a while, like, we didn't know who was going to go out of the 2 of you. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. It could go any other way. Why do you think it was ultimately you and not Jake?
Probably because of that breakdown. But I also think that no matter what...
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think no matter what, that if it was a guy versus a girl, the girl probably would have went, because I think that the jury would have voted a woman to win no matter what. But
yeah,
I don't know. And then I guess I feel like my biggest downfall was probably voting Jeff out that round, because I think the game would have went a whole lot differently had he stayed. But there was nothing I could do in that vote. So
yeah, I mean, I will say, in regards to that breakdown, like, you recovered from that very well. Like, I remember when that all happened, I'm like, oh, I need Erica to like refocus in the game, and I'm glad that you were able to. Do you think that if you didn't have that breakdown, things would have gone differently, or do you think that you were able to refocus yourself enough to where that wasn't an issue?
I think things would have gone a little differently, because I think I would have probably been like, Jake saved me this round, don't save Peyton. Because I really like at that point, like after Stephanie played her idol, I wanted like Peyton or Edmund to go because I was like, they're like a huge duo. Like they're probably working with Stephanie and Mark. Yeah. So I was just like, I would rather one of them go, and I would feel much safer. And maybe they would have to reevaluate and get closer to somebody else. So, but that didn't happen. So
that's funny. All right. So, what were you gonna say?
Like any advice for like future seasons or anything?
Yeah, especially since you were a new player. You know, I'm sure you have a lot of advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Just talk to people, like get closer. Everybody you talk to is not going to be someone that you want to work with, but they might be good for your game, or you could end up like me, Jake, and Michelle. I felt like we were a family by the end of the week, and even then, like everybody was so nice that I don't really have anybody that I'm like don't like from there. Like Edmund's really nice, awesome. Love him. Peyton too. Stephanie, like she was like the mom on the trip. Love her. So
very good group.
Everyone's great. I love this cast.
I think we're going to go ahead and segue to Jake here. Now, Jake, you were in a similar position to Erica, but the difference is you've played orgs before. You know, what would you say was the biggest difference? What surprised you the most from playing a org and then playing a live game?
It is so different. Y'all have no idea. Like, oh, you played one. Like, you know, like when you play an online game, you can bullshit for hours, you know. But like when you're in someone's face, it's way harder. You're in a house that's big, but not that big. Like they can come find you at any time. You can't really hide. So I mean, it's just so the energy and just like everything is so different because you can't get away from it. So it's just nonstop. Whereas online, you can go to dinner or go to bed. Like, you know, you can't go to bed in Ascendance. Nobody slept because they go to the game 24/7. So way different.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to like a live game, there's like a lot of things that we'll criticize because we're used to seeing things play out differently in orgs. But then it's like, well, things are a little different, so you can't really do that. So I think that was interesting. One thing I will point out that I thought was very funny with you, Jake, and I'm sure you heard me talk about this. Almost every time we saw a confessional with you, you were so confused. What was going on, like every round. What do you have to say about that? Do you think you had like good game awareness and things like that? Like,
listen, you know, when you're doing a confessional and you're confused or didn't know something's gonna happen, you're gonna say you're confused. It doesn't mean I'm dumb. It doesn't mean I was clueless. Y'all called me clueless. Like it doesn't. I'm not clueless. Like y'all, like, when you're referring back and you didn't know that was gonna happen, damn, I don't know what's gonna happen. A lot of the things that I didn't know everything. Shit.
No, you're right. You're right. Definitely. Like there's been plenty of times where I've definitely like done confessionals. I'm like, what the fuck just happened this round? So like, I get that. I just thought it was very funny because I felt like every time we cut to you, it was like, there's a bigger plan. What's going on here?
There was a lot of shit that surprised me. What can I say?
Yeah, no, definitely. So what do you think you would say was like your biggest strength in this game? Like you talked about in your not really exit interview, like the thing we see at the end where you talked a little bit too much, but what do you think really like helped you out? Especially someone that hadn't played Ascendance before.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, I'm not the biggest like this is what we're doing because I want to do it. Like I'm not like that. I'm more of a go with the flow, and I think my personality, just the way I connect with people, I was able to connect right away. Me and Erica, neither of us thought we were going to be anything more than just hey, like what's up? And she's like my closest person. Eddie and Peyton, like we were like this. Sarah, you know, like the way I connected with them, and it felt deeper than just I'm playing a game, I can backstab them whenever I want. Like it wasn't like that. We were genuinely friends in such a short time. So I think that definitely helped for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to bring up Eddie for a second because something you were very steadfast on in like the previous episode, I can't vote Eddie. Eddie saved me in this game. Do you think that was the correct move? Or do you think if maybe you were a little bit more willing to vote Eddie, maybe you would not have gone when you did?
I mean, seeing how the votes laid out, all me, Michelle, and Erica had to do was vote Eddie, and it was fine. But I mean, even the rounds before, you know, I saved Peyton when I won captain because he was the reason I stayed at 9 by throwing his vote on Nick. Like I'm very straightforward, and I feel like if someone does something for me, I owe you. And that was my way of doing that, and I didn't think it was going to burn me the way it did. But, you know, he helped me stay at 7 when he didn't have to, and I felt like I needed to do something about that to repay him.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that at all, because I've definitely been there where it's like, even if you're not really working with me, it's like you still saved me. So it's like, I need to somehow repay you for that, you know? Yeah. So I definitely can get that for sure.
I'm still waiting.
What would you say you learned from playing Ascendance? You know, obviously you hadn't played before. What did you really, you know, how'd you really feel like playing this game and really like figuring it out as you went along?
No, I mean, Ascendance is way different playing it than hearing about it. Like, I will say that I definitely learned all of Ascendance. And I don't know, just like, I live at home by myself. I don't have siblings, roommates, shit like that. So just putting myself in a situation with strangers, I guess you could say. Yeah. It's crazy. You learn so much about, you know, how you react under pressure, how you interact with people. And, you know, like taking that away was just amazing. But no, you definitely learn a lot about how to interact and, you know, like how to do different like day-to-day shit with people you don't really know. So that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Ascendance is a hard fucking game. I always tell people that, like, if you had to have like, say like the top orgs, like it's Ascendance and 1984, like those are not games you play like first, you know? Yeah. And I learned that the hard way. So like Erica, I think you benefited from like, you know, at least seeing it play out. Yeah. I had no idea what the fuck I was getting myself into when I played. So like
No, Nicole warned me that this game was on crack, and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like it's like any other game. And then I get here and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping.
Oh yeah, no, it's very intense. It's very intense for sure. But yeah, no, it's a very, very interesting game. Eric, I do want to go back to you because there's one thing I wanted to touch upon. So Edmund made a final 3 with like you and Michelle. Seemed like he was pretty like, you know, serious about it. Did you believe him? Did you really believe in that final 3, or were you like, I don't know about this. I don't think this is anything legitimate.
So when we made the final 5, like the Duckies Alliance, I didn't
let's
trust.
Talk about the Duckies. Yeah,
the
most consistent alliance of the game.
Right? I didn't really trust them at all because I had already seen them as a duo at that point. But at that, like after they left, like Jake's room was connected to mine and Michelle's through a bathroom, so like he just came right back over, you know, and us 3 sat up for like another hour, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go to 5 with them and then pick them off. So whenever Eddie was like, let's do a final 3, me, you, and Michelle, I was like, okay, sure, yeah, this is my real final 3, not with Jake or Michelle or anything. But I didn't necessarily trust him, no. I think even in his confessionals, he said, Erica's just not believing me, like, because I kept questioning him. I was like, Edmund, like, if it's me, you can just tell me, like, I'm going to jury, like, it's better if you tell me than lie to my face, like Peyton was doing. And so I think, I was definitely skeptical. So whenever it did come out as tied, I was like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't think I had a fighting chance. So I wanted to trust him, but I didn't. But I don't know. I think he's playing a great game. Like, as I'm leaving, like, he's got, like, everybody in their pocket.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what turns out. Because like we said before, you know, obviously you guys can't answer this question, but like we said before, like I feel like Payne and Eddie are playing like very similar games. And I don't even know which one is really going to end up taking it. But I do feel like one of them is probably going to end up taking that win. But we'll have to see, of course. So, of course, Jake, you know, we asked Erica the same question. Advice for future people that play Ascendance. What would you really say to them?
Oh my gosh. I think, you know, when you're in a live game, like, there's not a lot of time. So if you want something to happen, make it happen. I think one of my biggest downfalls was not making a lot of the things I wanted to happen. I kind of just went with the flow, and then you saw how that turned out.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like if you're gonna play a live game, play it, and maybe don't over hard too fast. But like if you want something done and you have the space to do it, and you know get something out of it yourself, earn it. Don't just like go with the flow and end up where you end up. That's what I did.
Exactly. And I will say though, canonically, I think it actually did help you that you weren't making all those power moves, because I think that's what got you so far in the game. Because like there were so many points where like Jake's gonna go, and like you didn't go. You still found a way to like survive, and I think you overall did a much better job than I think a lot of us anticipated. So I think you should definitely be proud of yourself for sure. I think both of you played really strong games. Like I said, Erica, you for sure, great. Like I think was one of the front runners to win. So as much as it sucks to see you go, like it,
she definitely could have won.
Yeah. And Sean, you're out of the draft, unfortunately.
I know.
We don't talk about it. Really don't. Freaking.
But yeah, they both played such strong games. And it was just so fun watching both of them play.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that, do we have any other questions for Jake or Erica? I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think so.
I said it during the episode, during the recap. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get a draft update like at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is Sean laggy for anyone else? Because like they're very like
Yeah.
in and out. They're like cutting in and out.
I said it. Well, I said it during the episode, during the recap. But has anyone ever fucking heard of jury management?
Don't lie to my face and then vote for me. Like, come on.
It's a pinky promise, though.
I know. A pinky promise.
I love a good pinky promise.
One of the quotes of the season.
Oh, definitely. Like if there was like probably my favorite episode quote so far.
I love it.
I still love you, Peyton. Don't worry.
They played it 2 times too, so like that's got to count for something,
2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, very happy to have both of you on. I think you guys both played a really great game. And I'm very happy that both of you were able to. Oh, we have Sean back. What were you saying? Before it was like cutting in and out.
Oh, there's no draft update.
Oh, okay. There will not be.
I haven't touched that shit since the jury started.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. That's your answer to that then, I guess. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about what happened after both of you left. If you guys want to stick around and watch, you can. Other than that, we'll let you guys, plug anything you want to plug, do outros, things like that. Erica, I'm gonna start with you.
I don't really have like social media other than like Instagram, so @EricaBratnex if you want to follow me, but definitely play Ascendance.
All right, Jake.
Definitely make sure
you can really see the head cut out now. I love it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're gonna plug your head cut out. Where can we buy it?
Get your head cut out. Everybody drags me for it, but please don't. It's cool, y'all.
I think it's funny. I love it.
It's so good.
But what I'm trying to
so
say,
good.
what
Tag
I'm
yourself on Jake's cat.
What I'm trying to say is make sure y'all bring lots of snacks.
Oh, your cat's leaving.
I'm done.
Kevin.
You have to scream. No. Subscribe to us in this live on YouTube. That's all I gotta say. Okay, bye, y'all.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and.
I'm also leaving. Bye.
All right. Yeah, it was very good having you, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yes.
Of course.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and talk about what happened in the rest of the episode. So we get to the next captain's comment. Okay, so before we get to that, 70 is annoyed. The vote.
That's fine.
Oh, it's still you.
Yeah, I only have like.
Oh boy.
Oh. Okay.
Trouble in paradise.
No. All right, I just have the last little
I
bit
was
of
just reading the wrong thing, yeah.
I just have like a couple more notes.
Yeah, we're good.
Stephanie is annoyed with.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay. Stephanie is annoyed the vote didn't go the way she wanted at all, but at least Jake voted the way she told him to. And Michelle is upset it had to be between the both of them.
Yeah, which was very unfortunate, of course. But
yeah,
the next captain's competition.
One thing we don't stand having 2 girls.
Oh yeah. So the next captain's competition goes down. It's a classic game of night moves, and Peyton once again wins this comp. Again, just fucking crushing it at this point. Peyton is just absolutely killing it when it comes to this game. I think in terms of comps, I believe he's won the most at this point, and I think he is doing an amazing job. He's so good. Yeah, just very impressed by his game right now. But Michelle feels that this was her comp to win and is devastated that she lost. I did feel really bad for her, especially because, I mean, at this point, Michelle very much is the underdog here. Like, there is a final 3 that she's not in. The fact that she is literally excluded at this from it, you know, with Stephanie and whatnot, like, I really did feel bad for Michelle in this scenario. And I'm hoping that, not just for my draft's sake, but just for her sake, that she does somehow make it past this round, because I would love to see that happen. But Stephanie calls Payne and Eddie to the garage, completely excluding Michelle, as I just said. She talks to the camera a bit, which was kind of a fun little segment, but I also felt really bad for her. But the 3 of them talk about how happy they are that they made it to the final 3. And then I found this interesting. Peyton seems very unsure if he wants to make this a thing. I think he, at this point, it seems like he really wants to cut Edmund, and I would not blame him for doing that. Like I said, I think that, you know, I don't think it was intentional either on your part. It's
I think it just kind of like,
it just worked out that way.
It was just kind of, that's just how it ended up.
Yeah, when you have a known final 3, it's like, you know. I wouldn't.
Just because, like, it's final 4, you need all the numbers you can get, and especially if in this scenario, if there's a final 3 and there's someone who's on the outs, and you know, like Peyton actually at this point is like, do I want to stick to this final 3 or do I not? Peyton's gonna want Michelle, because at this point it's either he can convince one other, either Stephanie or Edmund, to flip or tie it. You know,
right?
So I'll answer that question now.
Yeah, no, that's true. You were not a part. That is very impressive about Stephanie's game. I will say that she's the only one who was not a part of the Duckies that's still in the game, which I think is really impressive.
She's been doing so good.
Definitely a big reason as to why she could win, but she also could go here, so I don't know. But basically,
honestly, bold of y'all to assume any of us would actually make Final 4. No, we all have.
I mean. But anyway, Michelle mentions how Stephanie hasn't received many votes at all, and that it may be very hard to really beat her in the end, which Peyton does end up agreeing with. I think it was definitely the right call to make to go after Stephanie here, because I believe the only time she received votes was the Destiny round and then the round where she played her pendant. I don't think, has she received any votes besides that? I think that's kind of it. Those are the only times she's received votes, and only one of them was actually like a successful vote. So like, definitely the right call to make at this point, where it's like, you know, she hasn't received many votes. That's usually a really good indication that she's probably, you know, has a very good chance of winning. But Edmund tells Michelle that he will be voting for her this round, and told Jake to his face as well, because he cared about both of them. And he tells her about his deal with Stephanie and Peyton. Now, I want to get into this because, as I said it, when it comes to Peyton and Edmund, they're kind of playing similar games, but the biggest distinction is that Peyton is lying to everyone's faces, like left and right, while Eddie is being straight up. He's like, I'm voting you out. I'm going to be honest with you about that. Which do we think is like more, they're going to respect more? Because it's honestly very hard to tell at this point.
Right now, I can see it's respecting Peyton more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really just depends. Like, whoever sits in that final 2 and how they determine, how they articulate their gameplay. I mean, like, look at the Ori series. You got Peyton, who sat in the final 2, very well, like, articulate his game and, like, you know, said his gameplays and game moves, and then got second. You got Edmund, who did the same thing in this season and ended up winning. So we don't know at this point. Like, I don't know who the jury will really respect more.
Yeah, that is interesting. That is something that we do have to discuss as well. If it does come down to an Eddie and Peyton final two, these are people who have both been in the final two before in Ascendance. One of them winning, one of them getting runner-up respectively. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to end up happening there. But at this point, like, I feel like that's the most likely outcome, that it's probably going to be them in the final two. But we'll have to see what really happens again. I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna play out. But basically, Michelle is very annoyed by how little Stephanie is considering her options here and feels that she really has no shot to survive this round. And like Stephanie said, they did, of course, work it out. So we're not going to get into that too much here. Yeah. But Peyton tells Stephanie that he wants to be final two with her. And again, he's saying the same thing to Edmonds at this point. Again, I have no idea who in this three is being honest, who in this three, what the actual plan is here, if this three even is going to end up at the end together. Like, it's very interesting to see this play out. I've never seen a final three that is so indecisive on their loyalties to each other. But it's very fun to see that play out here. Yeah. But basically, the vote goes down, and it once again is a tie between Stephanie and Michelle. Stephanie feels that she very well may go here, and Edmund's annoyed that Peyton did end up flipping at the last second. We saw Peyton get very emotional here because he is going to vote out Stephanie. What do we think's happening here? Because to be honest, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't feel like a lot of these people are willing to change their vote. I feel like it might go to fire making. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's going to fire.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think we're going to have those scenario where, like, they talk it out, and then one of either Peyton or Edmund's going to be like, oh, I think this person's going to vote for Stephanie or Michelle, and then they flip, and it'd be 2-0. Or, let me see, I want fire. I want to see fire.
Yeah, I kind of just want to see it go to. Oops, not the Skype call. I want to see it go to fire making as well, because I think that'd be really interesting to see how that would play out. But there is that possibility that maybe it's just what's happened with the other revote and it just goes 2-0. I don't know. Either way, I think it's going to be a very interesting outcome, because if Stephanie goes, I feel like Peyton or Edmund are pretty much locked. Okay. Face off. All right. Face off.
We're just like so used to the Survivor.
I don't know the terms. I'm sorry.
I know. We gotta like make a Google Doc of like all the Ascendance live terminology. Yeah. So we don't get it, so we don't keep fucking it up.
Shit, I don't even know what flavor these jelly beans are. Like, look at this.
It's pendant, not idol. It's face off, not fire making. But yeah, we'll figure it out. But either way, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this does, of course, end up playing out. I think it's a very interesting outcome. I think, either of them go. At this point, if any of those final four go, it's going to be devastating to watch. But it's really going to shake up. Like, I feel like this vote's really going to determine what happens at the end here. Because I think for Stephanie, like, Stephanie does have a really strong chance of potentially winning the game. And I feel like Michelle's kind of locked for final two at this point. But I'm not sure how that is entirely going to play out and who ends up going, but I guess we'll just have to see. But either way, that's basically everything when it comes to Ascendance Live overall. Before we do close things out, I'm going to, you guys know the drill, going to let both of you guys, plug your shit, all that stuff. We'll start with the draft winner king himself. Mike, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, so I am on Twitter. I tweet sometimes. I am WonderPuff16. I'm also WonderPuff16 on Instagram. Catch me in Cerberus Survivor. That's not the proper title of the game. But shout out to John, Nicole, and Sarah for hosting a wonderful Facebook game. I'm stuttering. Bear with me. I have a cold. But these guys are awesome. Check that game out. We're having fun.
Definitely.
We're having fun.
All right. Sean, go ahead.
Once again, I am back. I don't remember the last time I've been here for Ascendance.
I think
thanks for having me once again. I'm dying. Everybody go check out Lost at Sea. That's Duke's podcast.
Yes.
You can listen to him talk to Erica and Jake as well. He has interviewed them as well. Also, Live Reality Games on Facebook. They also do coverage of Ascendance Live, so go check them out. Those who applied for season 2, good luck for next season. Can't wait to see who's in the cast.
Oh yeah.
And if you want merch, buy some merch. Help out Nicole and Papa get more unique items for season 2 and future seasons of Ascendance Live. And other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Absolutely. Also, I'm sure we've said before, but apps are now.
That was funny.
You can only see one of us. All right. Apps are now out for Ascendance 10 as well. So if you want to apply for that.
No.
You know, you can go ahead and do that. But other than that, what's in the... Oh, they're closed. Okay.
Oh, they're closed. Okay.
They closed. I did not know that. But anyway, that's really it for our review of this episode of Ascendance Live. Only got 2 more to go, I'm pretty sure. So excited to see how that does play out. Very fun to do this in person. We will be back later for our coverage of the latest episode of Survivor. So definitely look forward to that. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you guys in our next video, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.
Bye.